business? Was it the building business or asphalt? Or
he worked for a firm, and as an asphalt contractor, he worked as a spreader, and then he went out on his own. Eventually went out on his own. And I worked with him for about 5 or 6 years, but I couldn't hack it. I mean, he was too much of a self-made man, wouldn't let the reins go, very contentious sort of stuff going on there between him and I. Didn't have a good relationship, so eventually I just up and left.
Was he a happy man?
I don't know. He was a very quiet guy, never said very little. And I would say within himself had a lot of turmoil, emotional turmoil. But I was very resentful of his attitude and his quietness and his reticence to talk to us as kids because we wanted to interact with him. And he wasn't the let's have a hug type. And that generation was around, as you know, at that time.
No touchy-feely.
No touchy-feely stuff. He came to see me. I was doing Superstar for 3.5 years in the West End. He came to see me on my last night. And all through that, he was saying to my sisters, when is that fella going to get a real bloody job? And I was in the West End playing Judas in one of the biggest hits of all time. When I did Les Mis, he came over to my sister brought him over to see one of the shows in the Barbican. His only comment was that show would be nothing without our Colm. That was his comment, and nothing else. He said nothing to me, and I resented that, I have to say. I resented that a lot. Not because but because he was your father, you expected him to say, well done,
You
or something.
needed him to
Well, I needed that. That's exactly it. I needed that kind of response. But we didn't get it. And maybe that's what made me try a little harder. My dad had a very, very sort of hard time trying to express himself. But there was times when I didn't talk to my father for years, And I'm not great at that either. And I'm learning to try to do that. And I'm trying to tell my kids, and I'm trying to say to my kids, I love you. I love you. I love you.
I wanted